All right, let's do the 2010 movie To Die Is Hard movie review. It was hard finding a picture for this because it's so sea level. It really is. A film by Glenn Bergotz. Bergotz. That's the guy. And if I was watching, how can I describe this movie? If I weren't watching a movie channel, I said I want to watch a good movie. This is like action comedy that seems to be spoofing Die Hard. Okay, I can get on board with that. And then I expect like a studio movie. Whose fault is that? If I expect a studio movie that had a serious budget and like good special effects or anything like that, whose fault is that? Is it my fault? It probably is. So I watched this movie and I was like, what kind of low budget? But as soon as I start thinking, what kind of low budget oh my God, start laughing because there's some crazy scene going on. However, if I ran into some guy I was in the Navy with and he's like, hey man, I went to college on the GI Bill, and I went to college up north, and we did this student film in my film class. It's a spoof on Die Hard. It's called To Die Is Hard, and he gave me this DVD that he burned. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I went and watched it. It would be the best movie I've ever saw. He's like, I played the bad guy. So you played the bad guy in this? Because it's hilarious. Every single scene is like a kind of a spoof on it in a way. You kind of just got to get it. First of all, it's an entirely white cast, which is okay. Okay? It's all right. And every single scene is a spoof in some way on Die Hard, obviously. But the simple absurdity of it is just hard to take at some point. It's like nothing an English professor can't handle. Like there's a guy who plays Al who's outside talking to him during this terrorist takeover of a college, community college, and it's all shot inside a college. And so he keeps calling this guy, and he goes, what are you, CIA, FBI? And he's like, no, I'm an English professor. And the Al guy laughs. He's like, oh my God, these guys have no idea what they're in for. You know, it's incredibly absurd. And the scenes, one of my favorite scenes, what really hooked me in, it was this constant, it would return back to his wife and kid. He's leaving in the morning, and the wife and the daughter just adore him, right? They both just adore him. He's the best man ever, best husband that ever could be, best father in the world. And so they're just gushing all over him. Then he goes off to work where all this happens. And so it keeps cutting back to them sitting there pondering like, Mom, tell me how you met Daddy, you know, and it's like, and then Mom tells the story. It's like, well, one time he went to the inner city to teach these young kids how to play baseball. And the daughter's like, oh, wow, did he turn them into a ragtag team of friends that really work together? And she's like, yes, honey. Yes, he did. But that kind of escalates into who loves him more and like who is closer to him, and to the point where the daughter is like, I'm half his blood. You're nobody compared to him. I'm his blood. And the mom's sitting there arguing with her, saying, he chose me. He stuck with you. He chose me. And it's kind of hilarious. And every single scene is set up like that. It's like it was a bunch of guys sitting in their film class coming up with screenplay, script ideas over and over. And it's like, how could we make every single second of this film funny as possible based upon the budget? And I think they pulled it off. Like I said, if it was some student, it's like the best student film I've ever seen. All right. But I would rather have gotten it from an old friend and say, hey, you should check out this student product. Instead, I'm saying, oh, what's on Tubi? Ooh, this looks like an official movie. But it isn't. Still, it's hilarious. It's like one of my favorite scenes. This sticks out every single time I think about this film. Is he's hiding in a classroom, like a small community college classroom, and he's picking staples out of his feet. Die Hard reference, right? And he's on the phone with Al out there, and then some guy's looking for him, comes by in the hallway, and he ducks down behind a desk, and you can see him there, just with his eyes over the desk, and he's like moving around, like real obvious. And the guy's by the door, and he's just looking in this tiny little classroom. He sees his shoes up on the table. And the guy's just... and the guy's looking, I don't see him. And he's like, I know you're in here. It's so absurd. Every single thing. There's this one fight scene where the guy just kept doing the same sweep kick over and over again. Nothing would happen for like 30 seconds of the fight. Clever little stuff that, I bet a bunch of college kids came up with, and it's kind of awesome. It just depends on if you care on the budget of a movie. And what level of absurdity you can take. I will say that. So, To Die Is Hard, 5 of 13 stars. Yeah, I think saying it's the best student film I ever saw is the best explanation for it.